Hello writers and readers, welcome back to my channel. So today I figured I'd do this book haul that's very specific and it's just writing books. I feel like I don't see that many people doing a book haul just specifically on writing books or craft writing books, I guess. So I figured why not. I've been collecting a few in my room for the last few months. Honestly, I think this stack of book has been waiting here for a while now. So I figured why not make a video hauling these books like that. Those of you who are interested in writing or like learning about writing, you guys will have more resources to pick up or books that you probably never heard of to pick up. And obviously I'll link everything down below. So we do have quite a few books here, but I'm just gonna mainly go through the title and the author name because more or less writing books, they already tell you what they're about. So yeah, I'm excited for most of these, and some of these I'm using currently now for my research and for developing characters. So I'm gonna start with the biggest stack, and it's from the same two author, and the authors are Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglish, and it's these books. And I've heard such great things about these books throughout the years, and I think I have all of them, like including the newest one that just came out like last year or this year. So I'm gonna go through them. These are basically thesauruses for writers, and they help you, describe your world in details, describe your characters in details. First off, we have the Emotional Wound Thesaurus, a writer's guide to psychological trauma. And then there are a lot of psychological traumas. Like, all of these books are very detailed. There are so many things you can go through, work through, find even inspiration if you have a character but you don't know what to do with them, or if you want to like start from scratch too. You could even like go through these books, flip around, pick something, start researching it, start using it. And I find that these are amazing, and I'm gonna keep them near my desk, so like that I'm always gonna have resources available. So this is the first one. Second one we have here is the Conflict Thesaurus, and it's a writer's guide to obstacles, adversaries, and inner struggles, volume 1. So there is actually 2 volumes to this one. And yeah, it's very detailed. Like here it says being saddled with unexpected responsibilities, and there's also like a table of contents at the beginning, so you can just browse from the table of contents if that's easier. And I just love the way they made these books. They're really helpful, and honestly so much thought has been put into these. So we have the first volume, and like I said, we have volume 2 of the same concept, so a writer's guide to obstacles, adversaries, and inner struggles. And I think this is the one that has just recently been published. Then we have the Emotion Thesaurus, and this is the one that most people that you follow that have writing channels or that talk about writing, they will also always reference this one because this is the one of the most popular book in the writing community. And this one is a writer's guide to character expression, and it's actually the 2nd edition, so I think this is the first one they've released in this series. So yeah, there's a lot. There's emotion, so there's anger, amusement, and it goes like alphabetically, hysteria, and then you have a bunch of descriptors and a bunch of things that explains those emotions and how you can use them. So yeah, we also have the Positive Trait Thesaurus, a writer's guide to characters' attributes. Same thing. We have the Negative Trait Thesaurus, a writer's guide to character flaws. We have the Occupation Thesaurus, a writer's guide to jobs, vocation, and careers. This one seems really interesting, and I think I struggle a lot to give my characters careers that are not like solely like writer as a career. So I think this is a good one for me because I'm going to be able to start branching out and being more creative. Like I either choose like really like niche careers or make all of my characters writers. It's really bad at this point. So I really am going to be studying this book. The next one is the Rural Setting, and it's a writer's guide to personal and natural places. So that's really good. There's also setting ones, so it's not just character focus or a character profile focus. So there's this one, and then similarly there's this last one that I have here, and it's the Urban Setting Thesaurus, a writer's guide to cities spaces. So it doesn't matter what kind of novel you're writing, if it's set in the city or if it's set in the rural spaces, they have you covered. So yeah, these were the books. I'm going to link them down below. And now let's get into the other writing books. So the first thing we have here is The Artist's Way at Work, Riding the Dragon, 12 Weeks to Creative Freedom, and it's Mark Bryan with Julia Cameron and Catherine Allen. I'm actually currently reading The Complete Artist's Way, and since starting that book, it kind of changed my writing life and my mornings because I've been journaling every morning for the last month, so I've been doing that every morning now, and I might make a video in the future explaining my process and talking more about it. But yeah, it has inspired me to start doing morning pages, so I do every day 3 morning pages, and it actually takes me like quite some time, but it has made me more creative and made me more like in line with everything I want in life, and it's just been a beautiful practice because I feel so much more positive than I was before. So I definitely wanted to pick this one up. I'm definitely gonna read everything Julia Cameron has ever written because I just love the way she writes. I love the way her words just hug you as a creative, so highly recommend this one and The Artist's Way. Then we got this book, and it's a little book on form, an exploration of the formal imagination of poetry by Robert Hass. And a little book, I think that's a joke because it's more like looking like a big book of 450 pages, but I really do love learning about poetry. As you guys know, my first book that I ever published, self-published, is a poetry book, so I really want to get back into poetry. I feel like I poetry myself out, and now I'm like kind of missing it, and I want to go back and, you know, learn more poetry. I took a poetry class that was really hard in university, but I learned a lot. But I feel like most of that, 75% of that knowledge is totally gone, so I definitely need to read this, get more acquainted with poetry forms. Really excited to pick this one up. And the funny part is that by the time you'll be watching this video, my close friend is going to be married, and she was the one that basically inspired me, pushed me to take poetry classes with her and to take Shakespeare classes with her. And as you guys know, Shakespeare wrote the sonnets, and so I'm actually going to be performing the sonnet at her wedding. Like, I'm going to be reading Shakespeare's sonnet for her marriage, and I've been practicing all day right now, and I'm like, oh my god. It's so nerve-wracking, but it's so exciting, and it's so full circle. It's funny because my love for poetry also represent my love for one of my friends, and like honestly, this girl is amazing, and she's like one of my closest friends, and so I'm just so happy and stoked, and poetry will always have that special place in my life because of that. Okay, the next book I got is Think, Write, Speak by Vladimir Nabokov, and it's uncollected essay, reviews, interviews, and letters to the editor. So all about writing, and it's pretty straightforward. I have yet to read Nabokov's work. I know it's so bad. I read some of his short stories in university, but it doesn't account for all the novels that he wrote, so definitely need to get on that before starting this one. Then I got this book, and it's called How to Not Write Bad. It says the most common writing problems and the best ways to avoid them by Ben Yagoda. It looks like a really small but impactful book, so I can't wait to read this. I don't know what to think about this so far. My cat is just being so annoying right now, so I'm just gonna let him be here because if he's on the floor, he's just meowing at me. So hopefully you guys will enjoy his presence. His name is Silas. You guys definitely seen him before. It's always a struggle filming around him because he's always demanding attention. So look at him, he's so spoiled. Look at him. Okay, next book that I have here is Cult Writers, and it's 50 nonconformist novelists you need to know. And I love this concept. I love this idea. Let's browse one. Ooh, we have already Ursula K. Le Guin, and it's The Speculative Futurist. And we have, hold on, we have so many of them here. We have Nikolai Bulgakov, and I'm actually currently reading his book The Master and the Margarita, and I agree, and I love it. And there's a cat in that book, so full circle. Can't wait to read this. This looks so cool. I love the idea of this book. Then we got this book. It's called Foreshadow, Stories to Celebrate the Magic of Reading and Writing YA, and it's edited by Emily X.R. Pan and Nova Ren Suma. So these are essays on technique and craft, and there are works introduced by Melissa Albert, Becky Albertalli, Laurie House Anderson, Gail Foreman, and so many more. This seems like a very interesting book to read, especially because I love YA. I grew up reading YA, so definitely wanted to pick this one up too. So I have this book. It's not really about writing, but it's mostly about reading, and it's by Azar Nafisi, and she is the one that wrote Reading Lolita in Tehran, and she's also an Iranian author, Iranian American, I believe. And it says, read dangerously, the subversive power of literature in troubled times. And this just sounds like a fascinating book. Then I got this book, and it's called The Art of Nonfiction, a guide for writers and readers by Ayn Rand. I can never say her name. It's very, I don't know why, it's a tongue twister for me. But the funny thing about this is that I'm currently reading her book, Atlas Shrugged, and it's a big kicker, so I'm gonna read it through audiobook. The funny thing is her fiction book kind of reads like non-fiction, so I find that super fascinating. I can't wait to see what she says in this book. So speaking of Ursula K. Le Guin, we also have Words Are My Matter, and it's writings on life and books by Ursula K. Le Guin. And I've never read a novel or a book by her, but I've heard only great things, and I love speculative fiction, so I definitely need to pick some of her books up and then read this one as well. Then I got this book, and it's Plotting and Writing Suspense Fiction by Patricia Highsmith, and I think I need to read this right now because I'm trying to write like a dark academia, and I definitely need some tips because I'm not that great at setup. I just like know like the plot twist, but I don't know how to set it up. And this was the author of The Talented Mr. Ripley and Strangers on a Train. I heard of the first one, haven't heard of the second one, but definitely want to know how to write better crime because I feel like all dark academia have to do with crime and murder. So really am excited to pick this one up. And we've already reached the last and final book, and it's this one. It's The Power of Writing It Down, A Simple Habit to Unlock Your Brain and Reimagine Your Life by Alison Fallon. And I think it's more like writing as a daily practice type of thing more than writing as like a novelist type of writing. But nevertheless, I love those type of books, and I actually really like the simplistic design of this book. So yeah. So those were all of my writing books that I wanted to present in this haul. I hope you found some new books to pick up for your writing projects or for character development or setting development. I know that I love reading craft, and I love talking about craft, and I love researching about craft. I just love craft so much, and I want to come back and make more craft related videos. If you have anything you want me to discuss, if you want me to discuss about character profile, about dialogue, anything at all, just let me know. I'm still gonna come back with my writing videos every week, hopefully slowly coming back into routine. And I think the best way to learn about writing is not just read about writing and read other writers and stuff, but also to write and to actually take the chance to write, right? But I do think that learning craft is also very helpful and can be helpful for the untrained eye as well, or even the trained eye. So this is just something that really like piques my interest and my fascination. Like I can learn about writing all day long and I'll still learn different things and different techniques, and I'll just love it. Also feel free to share any of your favorite writing books or writing books that you wish that other people were recommending more. I know there are so many writing books out there. I feel like every author or writer at some point will want to like write a writing book, and I think that makes sense, and I think that's amazing because why not share the wisdom, or why not share what you've learned through writing? As always, don't forget to enjoy your journey to writing, and I'll see you on the next writing video. Bye!